Good evening, everyone who's joining us online and in the room. This is a special meeting of the Board of Trustees. We are calling to order at 7 p.m. on the nose. May I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Bardis is absent. Trustee Bozy.
Here.
Trustee Hall.
Yeah.
Deputy Mayor Cleeps Phillips Woods is with us remotely.
Hi,
Are you with us?
I'm here. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, it's roll call.
Okay, I'm here.
Thank you.
Yes.
And Mayor Foley is here.
Hi. The announcements?
Just that we're having a meeting.
Make sure there's nothing different. Here we are.
So next week, start of our twice a week food scraps, which I think we'll send out in an announcement through email, but just the FYI that it's Tuesdays and Thursdays at Kemble Avenue.
I walked past two people who I don't know on the sidewalk, raving about the fact that we did it another day.
Oh, good.
So great thing people
Also,
ready to know.
a month from today, a month from the 20th is Community Day being held at Dockside Park from 4 o'clock to 8 p.m. And if anybody wants to volunteer, it's eventscoldspring@gmail.com. We posted about it on the website today.
Always use volunteers.
And we're still looking for tree board members for one more week.
Thank you. So we have joining us tonight, Rich D'Andrea, who is the engineer for the Carney Group. And Rich, I just would like to give a little background here. This is not a usual request. Our code is silent on requests for traffic counters, but as you and I discussed, our community has had a number of cameras put in place related to large developments over the last year. One by Parks, one by Protect the Highlands, and then the DOT was here very recently in the Lower Village. And it does, make people uncomfortable when cameras suddenly go up and we don't know why. So I appreciate you informing us, asking us, and sending us a map with detailed locations. So if you could talk the board through your proposal, and I wanted to address your question, Mr. Pugh. This is a meeting called quickly because we wanted to make sure that the public knew that this had come to the village board for question. It was noticed within 24 hours, which is the requirement under the open meetings law. So I hope that satisfies your question. Rich, go ahead.
Sure. Good evening. Just to introduce myself, Rich D'Andrea, Colliers Engineering and Design. We've been retained by Carney Development Group for a project they're looking at developing to prepare a traffic impact study. And the first step along that process is to collect traffic data. And I'm going to share my screen so you can see where we're looking to collect that data. Just give me 1 second. Just let me know you got that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Perfect.
So there's essentially 7 locations that we're looking to collect traffic volume data, and it'll include pedestrian counts, bicycle data for people traveling through those intersections. On this map that you see here, which was provided to the mayor, we identified several locations, or the specific locations where the camera equipment that we use to collect this data will be placed. Up at the intersection of Main Street and 9D, we would place it attached to the traffic signal pole that's there in that location. And then the other 6 locations are on signs at the various intersections. When we play, I'll show you the camera equipment in a minute. When we place these, they'll be on the back sides of the signs. The signs won't be blocked or anything like that. And the equipment is generally self-standing, but we typically attach them to something in the area so that just for security purposes. So the camera equipment, and this is a bit of a different installation than you'll ultimately see, looks like this. It's the main equipment's at the bottom. This base that you see here, this one they attached higher, but is a self-standing base. So when for the installations that you'll see that we'll put out there, this will be on the ground, and then strapped to whatever sign or the signal pole. In this case, you'll see this was likely a bigger intersection. This camera was extended probably in excess of 20 feet tall. The cameras that we place for these locations, because they're smaller, tighter intersections, probably would be between 10 and 12 feet high. The camera equipment, the camera itself is just a small head camera. It gives us 360 view of the entire intersection. And just so you can see it close up, this is another picture of what you'll see kind of at the ground. There's a small box where the recording and the data collection gets done, and then the other base of it and the pole and the strapping. The cameras do collect video, but other than what gets transmitted to us, it doesn't get shared anywhere. From that video, there is a proprietary software that MyoVision, who has these cameras, uses to break down the video data into turning movement traffic volumes, pedestrian counts, and bicycle counts. And that data comes to us as well, and that data ultimately becomes the basis for our traffic study. That's there's no other like personal information. There's no reading of like license plates or anything like that. So there's no other personal information that could be collected from these. In fact, when you look at the videos, they're actually pretty granular videos. So you couldn't even, I can't even read license plate information or personal information off of them. I think that's the general overview. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. We could look at the locations, whatever you want to talk about.
I just
Oh.
want to let the trustees know that Officer in Charge Jackson has reviewed these. He is fine with the locations. He was actually very happy to know to be informed ahead of time where they're going to be. As I said, normally we aren't informed, and so there are two in the village right now that we don't know who they belong to, and we don't know who is liable for them. So it is something we appreciate that you let us know in advance. He's fine with the locations. Our highway crew chief had only one bit of feedback with which I agree, which is at the end of Rock Street on Main. There's a notation in the box that says camera attached to West Point Foundry Reserve sign on west side of road or adjacent tree. And we both say no on the tree.
Okay, that's absolutely fine.
We're pretty protective of our public trees in Cold Spring. Kind of
Understood.
Okay. Any other
No.
questions, board members?
Sure. I have a couple. First, what's the time period that they'll be up?
That was the one thing I forgot to mention. So we are looking to do the data collection. We're going to do a Saturday and a weekday. So we would like to do this Saturday. So you'll likely see the cameras go out either Friday evening or very early Saturday morning, and they'll be there through the day on Saturday. And then depending on schedule, we may leave them there until the Tuesday of next week, which is when we would do the data collection for the weekday. It's possible that we may put them out Friday, pick them up Saturday evening because we have other locations to count, put them out again Monday evening, and then pick them up Tuesday after the data collection is complete. So sometime between Saturday and Tuesday is what we're looking at.
Right, that's helpful. So it's a short amount of time. And like observation or other information. So we require this traffic study as part of, it's in our code as part of the development of that parcel. So it makes sense that you're doing this traffic study. It's what the village already decided is required. So, and And then just to know, I didn't go back and look at what it says in the code recently, and so just to make you aware, Rich, that there may be something specific that we expect from that traffic study. So just a flag to you.
Completely understood. I think the key thing here, and speaking with Carney Realty, us and them wanted to get the data collection done now while schools are still in session before things potentially change for the summer, because traffic does wane over the summer. And then the details of the actual traffic study after that would be, coordinated.
I would actually say something quite the opposite. And this board will not be reviewing traffic data. It will help to form an application that goes before our planning board, zoning board, HDRB, et cetera. Cold Spring we are two different places during different seasons and different days of the week. We have very high density in the warm weather on the weekends, sort of Friday to Sunday. And that looks very different than a Monday afternoon. You mentioned that you were interested in understanding what the neighborhood looks like on a school day, but I would encourage that you at some point ask to come back and make sure you're capturing a Saturday or a Sunday
You mentioned Saturday, this Saturday.
this Saturday, yes, but
But
we're early
they're
in the
high
season yet.
season, yeah, or in the fall.
We're early in the spring right now. In the fall, Cold Spring is bananas on the weekend.
Mhm.
So I would say it will be very hard for you to draw conclusions from 2 days of data collection in May.
I don't disagree. And I think that we would probably do that. We would probably come back in the fall to like you're suggesting. I've been to Cold Spring myself to see, experienced what it's like on those days. So I know it can be a significantly different situation. But again, I think the weekday is always important to understand what has happening during school. This Saturday will give us a baseline, and then we can always come back in the fall and do additional data collection to understand what the difference is.
And we'll go through the same process of you letting us know, reviewing the map, having the
Completely.
conversation.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Rich. My name's Trustee Hall. First off, thanks for the courtesy of sending in a request to do the traffic study. I think that helps keep nerves calm.
Mhm.
Just in terms of a general context, is this a typical study for this type of thing? I mean, this is your livelihood, but just to sort of orient us a little bit to what's going on here. Is this something that would typically happen when one is considering developing a site, and also a traffic impact study? What could that look like? What kind of things would that include or cover?
Yes. So, definitely very typical for any development, really of any size, regardless of small, large. Typically we do traffic studies for all different types of development. So this is a very typical undertaking. As far as what it will cover, we're going to be looking at several things. We'll be looking at just general traffic flow, capacity of the roadways, and how they're operating today, how they'll operate in the future with the development. We'll be looking at pedestrian traffic, how the project might contribute to pedestrian traffic. Are there certain accommodations that need to be made to accommodate that? Same thing with bicycle traffic. And just like there's parking along some of these roadways, or most of them, that will have to consider. I know you have I'm not sure if it's a daycare or a Montessori school kind of right at the intersection at Kemble and the Boulevard there. That'll, how that operates, and especially considering the proximity to where the site is, that'll be something that we take a look at. So there's a whole number of things that we're looking at that go into the traffic study.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Second question, just on privacy concerns. You mentioned the data collection. I didn't quite follow the processes. there's a video image record, and then that information is drawn off that and converted in that box on the post. But then what happens to that collected video information? Is it, can you see faces on it or that type of thing?
You can't you can't really see faces. You can see, persons, and you can see vehicles. I couldn't make out like if I was walking by in the video, I would know it was me, but I couldn't tell otherwise who it might be. Like I wouldn't be able to see your face to know who it is. It's just too pixelated to be able to see that. The data collection is, again, it is a video, and we do get the videos. But the data collection itself is through an algorithm that MyoVision, the company that provides these cameras, owns. We send the video to MyoVision. MyoVision does the breakdown and provides back a data file, which then we can summarize into the data that we need. But it's really just numbers at that point.
Right. So then what happens to that original video material? Is that retained or destroyed at some particular point?
The video stays in our possession. It doesn't go anywhere else.
Right. And there's no other agreements to share any of that information or data with other sources. Okay.
Nope.
I
mean, the only thing I could say is if there was like a FOIL request, I guess, to the town, it could potentially be, or to the village, it could potentially be FOILable. But I guess, again, you really can't make out any personal information from that video.
Why would it be foilable if it's not our document?
Well, it becomes part of the village's records as part of the approval.
Once it's in the public record as part of your reviews.
Yeah.
Not then.
I guess
yeah,
I'm not. I mean, again, I'm not an attorney, but so maybe the videos wouldn't be foilable. I'm not really sure. But the data that comes out of it certainly is part of our study that becomes part of the record.
But your company, in conjunction with Kearney Realty own that data. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And is there any opportunity to share that data, to make it available to the village?
The data that we get, like the volume data, the pedestrian data, the bicycle data, will be actually an appendix of our study. So that data itself becomes public information, like the numbers of people that are going through an intersection in a car, walking through an intersection, that becomes public information ultimately.
Okay, that's good. And then final question, you just mentioned that you may put a camera up on a Saturday and leave it. You may leave it or you may take it down, but if you left it and then you left it, I'm going to run it again on Wednesday. Can you assure us that it won't be running between that time from Saturday?
Yeah, so if we do leave it there, what will happen is there's in each box there's a data card, as you can imagine, right? The data card will get pulled so that we can pull the data, and then they'll be reinstalled on Monday evening or very early Tuesday morning when we do the data collection for the weekday.
And does it run from midnight to midnight, the count?
No, it'll do. So we specified specific hours. I think we did do a 12-hour data collection at a couple of them. So we'll do 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. basically at a couple locations. And then some of the other ones we specified just during the morning and afternoon peak periods that are kind of your typical commuter hours.
Okay. So the one thing I would ask is that I will give you your team the number of the duty phone for our on-duty officers. If you could let the officer in charge has been copied on emails. If you could let them know when you're coming, and make sure that the vehicles are clearly marked with the company name and that your crews have something that identifies them on their gear, on their outfits.
Okay. Understood. Okay.
Go ahead.
So the 7 p.m. for commuting hours, do you think that covers enough? It can be still somewhat active
You're a
after
commuter.
7.
I haven't commuted in a while.
I leave before 7 a.m.
Yeah.
and it's common for folks to get home after 7.
Yeah.
If you're trying to catch like commuters that go to the city, the commute is long. So
Understood. I think, yeah, I think, I mean, we can look at the hours and we can, because we're doing video and we're not out there yet, we can modify them. I think typically I understand what you're saying about, the commute from the city can be long and people coming home or leaving before 7 or coming home after 7. But typically the highest peak, which is what we're going to analyze in our study, the peaking of the traffic is going to occur still between that 7 to 9 period in the morning and the 4 to 6 period in the afternoon. So that ultimately, if we can collect data beyond that, but ultimately I'm pretty sure what we're going to analyze is going to be that highest peak time.
Well, depends, but this is your business. It's, I'm not a traffic engineer, but just knowing the village, 4 to 6 is not peak commuting. People are not getting home. The bulk of people are coming home probably 6 to 8, particularly if you're trying to capture pedestrian, train traffic and
Okay.
cars going up and down Main from the train station. 4 to 6 is I think really early for the village.
Yeah, like 7 to 9. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Again, we'll take that into consideration. We can extend our hours. It's not a significant undertaking to do that. So
Great. Thank you for being considerate of our local patterns.
Mhm.
Other questions from the board?
Yeah, thanks for the time.
Yeah, thank you.
Could
Thank
I
you very
just
much.
have a question from the
Yes.
clerk?
Sure.
I just want to clarify, Rich, that when you say we are the only ones that have the videos, are you referring to Collier or Collier and your client? Who actually gets to look at those videos?
Colliers.
Just Collier's.
Yeah. I mean, we've never, we don't share the video with
So you
anybody.
turn the data over to your client.
The broken down data, the
Right.
numbers that come out of it. Yes.
Okay, good. All right. And is that notarized in any way? The data?
When you say notarized, what do you mean?
Does it, I mean, you just make you give a report. When it becomes part of your report, is it a sworn statement, I guess is
When
what
the application comes in, everything that comes with the application is a sworn statement.
That's good.
Right. And the study itself is ultimately signed. In this case, I'll probably be the one to sign it, signed by a professional engineer, which I am. We are kind of taking on liability of whatever we put into that study too. So
Your license that gets stamped on the
correct.
data.
Yes.
And I just want to state on the record that there's insurance that's turned in, and we have it on a certificate of insurance where the village is named as certificate holder.
Okay, well, I would like to make a motion to approve with 2 modifications. One is the removal of the possibility of a tree as rock as being one of the mounts. And the second is that we will be considering shifting evening commuting hours. in your
Yes.
final study. Okay, so I make the motion to approve the request as modified.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, Rich, thanks
Thank you.
again.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Good luck. I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thanks for your.
Thanks, Marjorie. Thanks, Tweet.
24.